Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
Awesome. Good evening, everybody.
Howdy.
Buenas noches, muchachos. ¿Cómo están todos?
Oh,
Victor,
here we go. Is that the immigrant song I hear playing? What is that?
Are you asking for an interpreter for this trial?
Yo no hablo inglés. ¿Qué dice?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
Get
Lord.
ourselves somebody. We know one of the Telemundo girls. I will call her up and bring her on here.
That's right. Bring her on here. She'd be easier to look at than Carlos, certainly. Oh, my God. Carlos, what's going on? How are you, man?
Not too bad. How are you fellas?
Good.
Oh, my God. Thump's still awake.
He
Evening,
is.
Thump.
Thump is still around.
We got a full house over in the chat.
Andy's here. Andy's
here.
never missing.
Andy is always here.
At 3 a.m, and Andy's going to show up.
He'd be first. He'd be the first one in line.
Yeah, he would be
first. I would like everyone in the chat who thinks that Carlos is probably guilty to put a 1 in the chat. We're just going to poll the crowd, just a
preliminary polling.
Yeah, there you go.
We can pulse the crowd. Here, we don't have a judge. Everybody discusses and presents the case. We do have an orderly to make sure that everything stays on the up and up and we follow the rules of procedure. But the mob of unwashed masses in the chat will determine Carlos's fate.
That's right.
And the only right that you are guaranteed in Ham Court is the right to be accused.
That's right. I think that's it. That's it. Yeah, there is no Fifth Amendment in Ham Court. Negative.
And Carlos has entered a not guilty plea.
Trial by mob. That's exactly right, Lionel.
Well,
I'd be down for trial by combat. Anybody down for that?
Jim, he was an EMT. He'd be willing to.
I could patch you up afterwards, right? If you're missing body parts or something like that.
Just but a scratch.
It's a scratch.
UK John has got a very, very valid question before we get started. What exactly is the charge? I am unfamiliar with the charges.
What is the charge?
Well,
I'm unfamiliar with the charges.
The charge. Oh, look at that. The defendant. That's right. Well, the charge basically is this is brought for the common good, right? Pro bono. The charges against him are he acted in an unhamely manner on some night when there was a storm at his house because he did not have his very expensive nebula properly secured. And because of that, the storm damaged the nebula and caused him to lose contact.
T.O. said we have a very serious matter. There's going to be an episode of Ham Court on Thursday. Carlos is being charged. We know that there was a nebula. We saw the video series where Carlos was putting this thing together.
Right.
And then we know that the nebula is now broken. So those are two facts, right? We know that he had one and we know that it is now broken. I don't think anybody can deny that, right? Is that right? That's where we are?
But I would like to also offer that there's another fact that needs to be stipulated, and that is that we had straight line winds that topped out at 98 miles an hour, and that that was the cause of.
He's claiming straight line winds.
Okay, well, you write that down because no one's going to care, but write that down because it's important.
I did put it in. So just so everybody's aware, we do have a dossier. Follow the truth. And
Ape Esquire has. Yep.
So we do have paperwork.
This is not some kind of kangaroo court or anything like that. I mean, there are no kangaroos here. So
it'd be Banana Republic court. Come on.
Let's get it right. I like that. I didn't want to go that way, but that's a very good one. Banana Republic.
From Puerto Rico. I can make that claim and get away with it.
Right. I see all the bolt cutters on the back wall, man. I totally know.
Was there anything else damaged in this event, this alleged event?
There were lots of things damaged in this event. There was a window damaged in this event. There was my roof damaged in this event. There was my fence damaged in this event.
And this is all because of the antenna flinging around? Or
no,
that's what it sounds like to me. Yeah.
No, this is all damage from other things. And the storm. You see, there was a storm, fellas. There was a storm.
So do we have a weather report?
I do not have the current weather data from that day.
You would think that somebody pleading not guilty would have a weather report. That's all I'm saying.
You would think.
Let me share.
Can you pull up
File
any
here.
proof that there was some sort of weather incident on that
So right
day?
now,
As a
the straight
matter
line
of
wind
fact,
is hearsay, right?
That's
okay,
yeah, it's
okay.
totally
Actually,
inadmissible.
there is a weather report from the National Weather Service, so I will provide that link shortly. In the meantime, I'm going to provide that.
Well, while you're providing the
okay.
link, we're gonna ask the poll: should the weather report be admissible or not? Go ahead and put a 1 in chat if it should be admissible, and then
Right.
2 if it should not.
And Jeff threw out an excellent point here already. Did you not have warning? Did you not have all available data? Because I mean, as a pilot, that's one of the regs is that I did not gather all available data about the flight before the flight.
See, I actually have this weather
Kind of
report.
thinking you didn't get all the available data.
Carlos makes a living as a parachute instructor. And I would imagine that a parachute instructor has to pay attention to the weather for their livelihood in life, right? Because you don't want to jump out of a plane during one of these alleged straight line winds. So I would think that the weather report would be something at your fingertips. Is that or
No, because it was nighttime and we don't skydive at night.
Mhm.
See,
I don't
know.
Some people think that the weather report should be admissible. So I'm wondering who Carlos and how he paid these people to say such things.
Well, I'm kind of thinking that too, because I'm seeing some things in the chat here. Not that one. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Jay Baker. He's like, Carlos, did you have enough time from the warning, or was it just so fast that you didn't know and you should save the nebula? Oh,
did your
minutes
iPhone go off?
3 minutes of warning.
Wow.
We got all
3
3 minutes of warning, and that was just enough time to run in here and disconnect their radios.
Well, it's
there it is. T.O. says you're guilty.
James and I were talking earlier, and I'm sorry, I'm getting the text message here with late breaking an update. What I was saying is that Carlos claims to be licensed by the FCC, right, as a ham radio operator. We in general class, is that right?
I make no claim of that. I've never claimed that.
No, he's an extra. Yeah, no, sir.
Oh,
if it pleases the court, no, sir. He has the advanced licensure.
so he does
level.
have the highest level of amateur radio licensing by the FCC, a government body.
Right.
And 3 minutes isn't enough to take down a collapsible mast. Is that what we're expected to believe?
I mean, I'm thinking, done, right? The wind certainly had no problem taking it down. So you couldn't?
The wind did take about 20 minutes to take it down. So
there was time.
There was time.
Philip, he is not turning around. Do we have the picture of the broken nebula? Because I think that if we submit that into evidence, the cloud will see the level of negligence that we're talking.
Right.
The crowd will see the
crowd. The cloud will too, but the crowd.
Well, work in IT, we talk about cloud's got to be one of the words.
Cloud is our word. Carlos, do you have any evidence you want to use to defend yourself? Or
I was trying to share my video, but StreamYard didn't like it.
Now he's blaming the tools.
Right. Oh, Lord.
We should get Ben as a character witness. Doesn't he know about the weather? Doesn't he drive around chasing clouds?
He does. He drives around in storms looking for storms. Which,
and yet,
but Ben lives in Iowa, and to be fair, there's not a lot else in Iowa to do.
And yet Ben did not show up at the Aries repeater for the area.
Oh, man. Oh, CJ Baker's got another excellent point. Did you follow code? Did you follow code?
I did follow code. And not only did I follow code, the instructions call for 2 guy points, and I made 4 guy points.
But were they sufficient?
Apparently not.
Clearly.
It's kind of what I'm seeing.
The guy stayed put.
What exactly was the damage? What was the damage to the antenna?
So the upper half of the antenna was extracted from the lower half of the antenna, and it split the fiberglass section that it came out of. Like, imagine if a catheter were to be pulled out without deflating the balloon. That's what it looks like.
Oh, Jesus!
Wow. So are you claiming that there was a quality issue with this DX Commander Nebula?
I am not claiming that because I would never accuse Callum of doing.
I
such
was
a
going to
thing.
say we'll bring Callum on as an expert witness. There will be a smacking.
Well, my old lady asked. She says, "Is the Commander DX going to be on this one?" Because I was telling her
The
about.
Commander DX.
I was telling her about the topic tonight.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Lionel,
Thanks,
see you, buddy. 73.
7-3 Lionel.
See you, bud.
So yeah, fellas, there was a video of roughly 11 minutes of length presenting my evidence before this one. So if you want to see the evidence, you can always play that video.
But it
Yeah, a
hasn't
man
been entered
can't plead
into.
his innocence on the courtroom steps.
Right.
It has to
That's
take
right.
place in the courtroom.
Before a jury of his peers. That's exactly right.
Right, and we have 40 of them right now frothing at the mouth for justice.
Right. They
Jeff
will
is
not
calling
be
for
denied.
Callum. As a matter of fact, I would welcome Callum in the streamer right now. If anybody can wake him up.
I was going to say, Callum's probably sawing some logs. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning at his house. I
Yeah.
imagine he's
Well,
asleep.
I'll give him a call on the flip phone and see if he answers.
Carlos, I'm a little put out that we don't have any better evidence here. Let me see if I can.
So I'm trying to share it over here, but it's not, your tool, StreamYard.
Well, your
Your
wife.
tool.
Never mind. What?
StreamYard does not like the file that I'm trying to share.
Well, what kind of file is it?
What are you trying to share?
It is-
Just share. Click share.
It's a video
Share screen.
Okay, let me
Well, share it in a screen.
Share screen. There we go. Share the screen. Open system preferences.
He's definitely not helping his case here, Thumb.
No, I don't think so. I don't. The catheter comment alone.
I did. Hey, Philip got
Okay,
his Artemis
let's
in the
see.
mail. Congrats, Phil.
Sweet.
Let me.
Carlos, we're trying to keep this stream moving along, man. This is
Well, when he's doing that, I'm gonna go over the facts as we know them.
Right.
Owning a Nebula is responsibility. It's a serious matter, and we know that Carlos owned a Nebula because we've seen pictures of him flexing.
right. Right.
Then we've seen pictures of a broken Nebula. Now
Broken
he is
as
claiming
hell.
it was broken by a straight line wind
Storm.
that blew for 20 minutes straight, which I don't necessarily know if I believe that could be the case. We're going to need a weather expert. He claims that there are documented weather reports that he did not see, even though he makes a living as a parachute jumper outer instructor guy. He's claiming that he had guy wires, 4 guy wires of unknown strength.
You can hear it on the
Right,
roof
so
of my 3-season room.
Here we go.
So this is the
I'm so
the
glad I
theoretical
guided
deed
at 4 points and not just one.
that happened.
That doesn't look right now,
I've
does
got
it?
the audio off. I don't think we need to hear that.
What's
That
going
would
on,
just
gang?
that one
13th and
fairly
16th of
prejudiced the
June.
jury.
And
Look at this
looking
guy.
a little frazzled because we've
Does
been
he
without
look
power for
trustworthy?
3
I mean,
days.
I don't know.
I think it's trustworthy.
In the big scheme of things, not a big
Yes, you
deal.
do.
I'm used to going weeks or months without
Brother
power.
could use a
I
haircut.
grew up in
Looks
Puerto
like
Rico,
Wolfman Jack,
and
only
I don't know
skinnier.
about
it's kind of par for the course for us. Let me show you some of what we've been going through here in
Oh, look
Columbia City,
behind
Indiana,
Carlos's head.
for the last 3 or 4
That
days.
does not look like a proper installation right there.
Man, that is a big antenna.
Wow.
How tall is it when it's not broken in half like that?
Yeah.
60
Jesus.
feet?
That's crazy.
I think it's 60
Oh
feet. if I
my
remember
God.
right.
Okay, so this is my first inspection of the antenna
60. It's
after taking it down. I literally haven't taken it down because
that's a
I
20
wanted to
meter
wait until
pole,
that time to do this the right
I guess, something like that.
way.
An
It
18,
looks
18
like
meter pole, so it's 59 feet.
it looks
Yeah,
like
close enough, right?
basically the winds were so high that it
Just think about that.
extracted this
Pause
part
this.
out
Pause this here for a minute.
of the pole. Let's
Who,
check
me?
out
I'm not
the
playing it.
There you go. Pause.
Just rewind it a couple of seconds to show how much is below the hose clamp. All of that was inside of the section that split. It's
Everything
pretty
below the hose
remarkable.
clamp where your hand is.
Yeah, everything below the hose clamp was inside of the section that split because the hose clamps are used to maintain, to keep it from
In
collapsing.
case it collapse, right?
Right.
Yeah,
To maintain rigidity.
yeah. Call it an antenna
Give me
by
that
hand.
clamp like that you use, right?
The winds were so high
Not
that
anymore,
it
no.
extracted this part out
Get a pill for
of
that.
the pole. Let's check out the other side and see. There it is.
So this didn't.
Flexing so hard
This
that
whole
it
thing just
split the
broke.
side here.
Yeah.
So I have to replace this entire section if that's available. If not, then I'll have to buy a whole new
Good
mast.
Lord.
Actually, look at that.
Have you been in
Glue
contact with
cut-
the commander of
glue
DX?
cut on the
Have you
self-mounted
talked
I
to him?
have.
That's
I have.
pretty
I told him
gnarly.
I would make this. I was
Take a
actually
look
going to
at the
make this
rest of
video. I
this.
actually shared the
So
original.
I was hoping that it was just a
windstorm video
simple something I could
on his
fix,
Discord.
but obviously not. I haven't heard back from insurance yet, but I'm sure they're going to cover this. Man, what a bummer. What a bummer. So what's the
And what
takeaway?
is the nebula set you back?
You know, first of all, no one in
About what's about 700 US.
700.
Yeah, because it's 400 and some odd pounds and another 100 pounds of shipping.
Is this your house with the crane?
There you go,
Carlos lives on
man.
the water like that? I didn't realize he was a baller.
So
And that
there
is
you go.
that is your Kenwood radio in the background there.
Yep, that's my Kenwood radio in the background.
Here we go. We got some nest footage. Here
Yeah,
comes
this
Carlos
is,
running in a panic.
Yeah, this is me running out of my garage back into my house to. But you can see the
He
wind
just
is
stopped real
whipping.
quick to check his sub count.
Yeah.
You can see the wind is whipping already, and at that point in time, there was no chance whatsoever to take the antenna down safely.
Wow.
There was a massive amount of damage on this road. We were without power for almost 4 days, and
That's a hot mess there, son.
How
It is.
long had you had it up and running before it got snapped in half?
You ain't have it long.
about a month and a half, I think.
Was it that long? I knew you had just recently bought it because I sat through all your build videos.
So I made all the build videos in 4 days, and just obviously, panned them out over the course of like 5 weeks or 6 weeks.
Right.
So Jay Baker is saying that you actually ran past the nebula. So while you were thinking of yourself and not your antenna, you ran into the house, leaving the antenna.
Yes, I ran into the
alone
house.
to fend for itself, and that is that speaks volumes.
Right.
Oh boy, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there he is.
Carlos, was I supposed to represent you on this? Because you're guilty AF, and I just, couldn't be here for the beginning.
Somebody needs to, because he ain't doing a very good job.
They say
Based
that
off
the
the
lawyer,
facts.
they say that the defendant has himself as a lawyer is a fool. So there you go.
He is pro se, and Lord, he needs some help. I mean, I'd call Saul if I could get a hold of him.
Did you
So-
get
Yes,
the
let's-
pictures? Have you shared the
let's
pictures
go.
out?
We have not.
Carlos,
but,
how can you defend yourself without pictures?
I've
Mr.
tried
Kirby-
sharing them on the screen here, but they're not coming through.
Mr. Kirby is saying that his has
Weak.
been up for over a year and some really crazy winds, no problems.
His nebula?
Right.
Clearly, Mr.
Well, I
Kirby
think-
doesn't have a nebula, and he does
He said
not
classic.
see
He said
100 mile an hour
classic.
winds.
Okay.
But see, I mean, if we administer what we call the reasonable man test, right? So Mr. Kirby, Mr. McGrain in the corner, and myself, 3 known hams with nebulas in 3 separate weather locations. I live in the southeast. This is Hurricane Central down here. We have tornadoes too. And here it is. Steve lives in like the Arctic or something. So
He
I'm
gets someone for a
thinking.
weekend.
I'm thinking a reasonable man's DX commander would still be upright. I'm just saying.
So here's the picture that was sent to me, and you can see that the top half of this is now the X Commander Classic size #1. So I think he was just,
That looks more like a Rapide.
I think he was trying to level up, like how people marry up, like how Carlos married up.
Right?
Oh, I definitely
Right.
married up.
Kicked out of his coverage.
Yeah, definitely. And so I think that the karma came back to get him because he tried to antenna up, and no.
That's what he gets. That's what he gets.
Thank you, Wade. Thank you.
Well, you got to remember, Wade is Canadian, right? And they're
Oh, yeah, that explains it.
That's what I need. I need
Uh,
Molson here to represent me.
Molson is the least friendly Canadian I've ever heard of.
That's right.
I don't. This is-
He's like grumpy Canadian.
I need AVE to represent me then.
So this was some damage to the neighborhood.
Oh, did you see the wind blow his tree down, or maybe Carlos did that to hide his malfeasance?
So
Yeah,
this
that's
all
what I
happened
think
after I
happened.
left. I was not present for the circumstances in question, and therefore I'm only going on this photographic evidence. And tell you the truth, this doesn't even look like his neighborhood.
Has this been
That
validated?
doesn't even look like any of the trees that are around there. This one laying down.
I think we need to voir dire the witness here because I'm not sure that the witness has good information.
That tree could be planted evidence. That's all I'm saying.
I think it is. I'm just
Well, it's not planted anymore.
I think
Right, it ain't planted
it was
now.
planted. It was planted for a long time.
That's right, Ed. He did tamper with the evidence, apparently.
So apparently he also tampered with the neighbor's house.
Mm-hmm.
This used to be the neighbor's shed or boat or something. I can't tell from the photograph.
Carlos, you live on a lake or a river?
Yes.
Carlos is keeping his QTH under wraps.
And this is in your backyard, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
Is
think
that a
it
wild
deserves-
boar? What is that in the middle of the picture?
I don't recognize it upside down.
It's that's the base of a tree snapped at the base.
Oh my lord!
Yes. And you can see the other half of another tree there in the upper left hand side, where it also snapped.
Stop that.
What did you do for the 4 days that you didn't have power? Do you have like a generator or something like that?
He
or-
didn't shower. You saw him in the video. He didn't shower.
I didn't shower. Went into the lake and swam to get rid of the stink. I went. I had to go on day number 2. I had to go to
The
store
crowd
and
is
get a
brutal.
Yeah, they are.
I had to get a generator on day number 2, or my goods were going to thaw out and my freezer was going to become a catastrophic murder scene. Because you guys ever seen a freezer de-thaw with a lot of meat in it?
Oh, son.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So
We had a
I went
freezer
back
at the
to
fire station that had deer meat in it that got unplugged several
Oh.
weeks. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. We disposed of it. We strapped that thing closed and
Whole
made
freezer,
it disappear.
Right, it's
We didn't
not
even
worth
try to
saving.
clean it. We called the super fund and made it disappear.
The scene of the crime.
Old Eddie is saying that he thought that was a moose in the picture.
I thought it was like some kind of giant wild Indiana boar or something. I didn't know what that was.
So here's
Here
a
we
photo of a window in the house, but this you notice how conveniently. Why am I testifying against you? You notice how conveniently the face is missing from the reflection.
See,
Well, yeah.
and having seen some windows that I might have broken or not when I was a kid, that looks suspiciously like a baseball maybe hit it or something. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Right
So
around
we
this
have
area here.
K0BK O'Brien. He says, "Yup," and he smelled it too. And I would like to remind him, whoever smelt it dealt it.
There you go.
That's right.
So
So
yeah, why
fellas,
wasn't there a giant barbecue with all this melted meat? Like, why wasn't this?
Because no, I'm eating my meat. I'm eating this
Well,
meat that I paid for.
Okay. All right. This is going to go sideways.
I had to
soon.
clarify
We need
there
to move
because
on.
I know you fellas. I know you fellas.
No, we know you.
What are you eating there, Tio? What do you got for dinner?
Oh, I got burgers.
The real American beef burgers, not any of this
Exactly.
Beyond
Not
fakeness.
Culver's veggie burgers.
No. Oh, yeah, that's right. The veggie burger culprit also. Yeah. No, I was running late. I had an emergency HVAC situation I had to take care of, and the contractor left. And that's actually why I was late. Not because Carlos is guilty, because he is, but because I had more important
Right.
matters to attend to than defending the guilty.
So
Look at this
I hadn't
tree.
even thought about that, but you just mentioned prior bad acts. We have to look at this defendant has a history of some sketchy behavior.
Do you remember the bolt cutter incident? Do I need to bring that up?
Oh, we've already talked about the bolt cutter incident, and he admitted it on camera.
Okay.
Yep, he sure did. And we've also talked a little bit about the
I got
Culver's
burgers for
burger.
everybody. Okay, this is mine. You guys can share this.
We did
one.
not
You're
talk
calling me out
about
in
we did
chat.
not talk about the dummy load.
Oh, the dummy load.
Oh.
That wasn't
Oh.
that was an unhamely act.
I brought
Speaking
enough
of
burgers.
dummy
It's
loads.
okay.
Oh my.
Okay.
Well,
So-
As if he wasn't tampering enough with the neighbor's property, with his own property.
Oh, that's interfering
Tampering
with
with the
utilities right there. Look at
I
that.
believe this is a capital offense.
I think that's felony. Messing with electrics.
Wow.
mhm.
Wow.
I mean, this is Alabama, son. You mess with the electric, you
lawyer's
messing
the
with my air
best.
conditioning. You messing with my air conditioning, somebody gonna get hurt. Mm-hmm. That's right.
I can't believe it. I mean, Carlos, I've always been like I always say that jumping out of the plane and operating ham radio is the most cool
It's-
active ham I've ever seen.
It is kind of badass. Yeah.
But now we talk about the responsibility of owning in Nebula. It's be very serious purchase that you made there, and then we know that you make a living off of weather reports. For the safety of others. We do not have any understanding of the quality of these guy wires that were up there, and you claim to be licensed by the FCC. So you should know better. I just don't know.
I've
where
never
we
claimed
are.
that. I've never claimed that. Find a video. where
What,
I've
that you're
said
licensed
that.
by the FCC? You're displaying a licensed ham radio operator call sign under your name with your face.
I do that all the time too, and I'm not licensed.
So,
So I mean, I'm
it's
I'm
kind of
willing to-
implied. No, you have Elmer. You don't have a license. Carlos has his license.
Right, I'm willing to look the other way on the license.
Okay. We're gonna drop that charge.
Well, I mean, should that weigh into the case in the chat? Is one if it's important, two if it's not.
I mean, he is claiming he's licensed because he's clearly displaying his call sign,
Well,
which only a
I mean,
licensed ham radio operator can get.
You know,
So
like the thing is that you're like lying's not cool, but if you're lying to get chicks, that's it's okay.
that's
Oh,
totally
yeah. Agreed.
Right? And so like that's
right.
How do you
right.
think I
and
got
so
married?
if this is kind of in that same vein,
Which
and I
time?
think that it might be okay, but we're
Right.
gonna let the
All of them.
we're gonna let the mob decide.
Well, I mean,
Think I got by
have
my
we
good
reached?
looks?
Is the prosecution resting on this now? Is that?
I'm resting. I
Um,
already took a nap. Oh, you're the
Are we-
prosecution, Ape. Sorry.
It's kind of you, Ape.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was supposed to be-
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're good. I mean, like, I
I'm the
don't
worst
think
lawyer
a
ever.
straight
Give me
line
cousin
win
Benny.
blows
Give me
for
cousin Benny.
20 minutes. I don't think that we have a weather report to substantiate any claims that this was a natural thing.
Right.
We had a veiled attack on Callum's product around quality, and I just don't know.
That's
There-
not
I
true.
think
That's not
he's
true.
guilty. I think he's guilty. I think that, and we have video footage of you running past the Nebula when you
Leaving
knew that
it.
it was a dangerous situation, right? And then you just abandoned this antenna. Reckless abandon is what
Right.
it was.
Right. Duty to act. You
Yeah.
should have saved that antenna. Breach of
Right.
duty. You did not save that antenna.
I think he was like, I'll
Right.
just let the insurance company deal with it.
Proximate
And,
cause. That antenna broke and damages. It could have
Right.
fallen and killed a small child or a gopher or something.
or worse,
and-
damage some vintage ham equipment.
Right. Which was attached to that antenna at the time. So
Yeah.
That was the Kenwood. That was the Kenwood. The Kenwood
Yeah.
went down for the count.
Yeah.
see,
might be
so
trial
that
number
antenna going offline, being damaged like that, caused the ham gear to be damaged as well. Mm.
K0BKO, Brian. I am with him on this.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you,
don't
Brian.
know.
Sir, you can be my lawyer because Steve is falling flat on his face. He's the worst lawyer ever.
Just remember that. Anybody else that's on ham court, don't call this guy.
That's right.
Let me call dude. Dude.
So did you ever get to make a contact on this antenna?
Oh yeah, I made plenty of contacts on that antenna. I used to
And-
during the FT8 off a number of times, and
The
I used to
Nebula?
hunt parks on the air.
Okay.
Yes.
How well
So
did
are
it
you
work?
going to get another one, or what is the
Right.
plan here?
So the plan that's the plan. Assuming insurance pays for it, yes. The insurance adjuster sent me an email today saying that he's working on my case today. So hopefully,
Do you have a deductible?
Ooh.
Do you have enough damage
Yes.
to get past your deductible at least?
Oh yeah, my roof is wrecked. I have a window that's gone. I have a roof that's wrecked. I have a fence that's gone. My flagpole is gone. There's a lot of damage here, and I'm by
Wow.
far probably one of the least affected on my road.
Wow.
But do you just need the mast though? You don't need any of the other parts, or are you good with just the mast?
I believe I have to buy the whole thing.
I
I
believe that's
am under the
correct.
impression that
That whole
Callum
antenna is
doesn't have
ruined
any
as
wire
hell.
right now. He's out of wire too.
Cal sells stuff by the part. You can get it a la carte.
Yeah. I didn't know about the wire situation. For a while, he didn't have any DX10. I know that, but I thought he got some back in.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said he just thought he was using this. And they talked about Amber Heard and her lawyers.
Yeah.
She needed better lawyers. As far as we know.
We should get Steve to represent Amber Heard.
Right,
I think
not a
Steve
fan.
did represent Amber Heard. I don't know.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
Right, I'm just saying, as far as we know, Carlos didn't poo anywhere.
Cobain
Right.
says not guilty
Yeah.
on the grounds that it can be replaced in a timely manner.
Well, I think we need. I think
Brian
we need.
is right. Carlos is guilty.
It is chemtrails.
Yes.
I think we need to pull the chat. So drop a 1 if he's guilty, and drop a 1 if he's not guilty.
Drop a deuce if he's not guilty.
Right, drop a deuce if you're not guilty.
We call that an Amber Heard now.
Drop a Heard. Drop a Heard in the chat.
Right now, they're racking up guilties.
I'm seeing. Oh, there's a not
Freaking
guilty.
UK John from
John and Andy.
Socialist England.
Oh, and the Canadian. Oh,
Right.
wow. So the Americans are hanging you.
Right, we got three Canadian Europeans voting to acquit.
Oh, what is this, Richard? No way.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
And we have the perfect
crowd is
opportunity
coming my
here
way.
to
I
bring somebody up
appreciate
on
you
charges. Or have to do a walk of atonement, and you guys are letting him go.
Shame.
I
Shame.
appreciate
Right.
you, folks. I appreciate you, folks.
Frankly, I think we need to bring the chat up on charges next.
Really?
Conspirators.
Unindicted co-conspirators. That's right. Oh my Lord. Now
Well,
see,
and,
Jason dropped a Heard in the chat. So
right. I'm hoping that you get everything sorted out, Carlos, and get back on the air.
Jason, I count that as that is a 2 from Jason, I believe.
It looked like a 2 to me. It was a solid. No,
It
was
looked
kind
like
of
an
a running.
Amber Heard. It looked like an Amber Heard.
So how long did this event last? Hypothetically.
All told, the winds picked up, and by the time it ended, it was probably 45 minutes before it was all said and done. I had
And
a
this
branch.
is a Django. Is that what you're saying? This was a Django weather event, or what?
Django.
Derecho.
That's what I said.
How do you say
Pronounce
that
it.
word? How do you pronounce it? Pronounce it, Carlos.
Derecho.
Is it Derecho? Derejo?
Yes, derecho.
Is that a
Derecho.
Spanish word?
It is a Spanish word, and I ponder why in the world we in the United States are using Spanish words to describe weather terminology in English.
I'd call it a hella wind. How about that? It's a hella wind.
It's a hella wind.
Dang on, talking about Halloween.
That's right. A
East
hella
we
wind,
call
not
them.
no derecho,
Out east, we call them hurricanes.
right?
Right. We used to just call them a storm.
That's that too. Gonna storm. That's what Dorothy called it when her and Toto went to Kansas.
I
Left
thought
Kansas.
Toto sang. I thought Toto sang Africa.
The rains in Africa.
The rains in
Asian
Africa.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
Lord.
thought Toto, is that Michael Jackson's brother?
Tito.
It's
Oh.
Tito. Tito,
Tonto.
Toto. I don't know. Tonto. Was it Tonto?
I'm not
Tonto,
familiar. I
yes.
listen to both kinds of music, but I'm not familiar with that. I listen to country and western. so-
Country and West. You got that off the Blues Brothers, my friend. I know where that came from.
Is that where it's from? I don't know where
Yes.
it's from.
What kind of music do y'all play? And they look up at the sign that says Bob's Country Bunker. And Dan Aykroyd's like, we play both kinds, country and western. One of the greatest
I'm not
movies ever made.
Yeah, I didn't know where
Yes,
it was
sir.
from, but it's not an original.
I counted 52 Illinois State police cars destroyed in that movie. Then I lost count. So that was hilarious. Okay, well, so we're done with that. Let's talk about antennas, Abe and
Let's talk about
Steve.
antennas.
And
What are we talking about?
we still have some Mercuries available,
We do.
Let me go get a
we
refill.
sure do.
5 or 6.
Nice.
on the website. The
We have
link
5 or
is-
6 Artemis left, right?
We have
about
6
10
Artemis and I think 5 Mercuries.
Well, we have 9 Mercury.
Well, you
Because
got the holdbacks, yeah.
right.
For those extra special folks.
For the foreigners.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think that only one, and one of the guys was really excited about getting one, and we did an estimate on the shipping, and it was ridiculous. I told him, I said,
It is.
you're nuts if you buy this thing. I said, it's just.
Where was he located? You remember?
He was located in Sweden, I think, adjacent state country, but I think he's Sweden, and I think the shipping is like $45 or something like that.
Yeah.
That seems right.
And I'm just like, look, man. I mean, I $45 is a lot. You know what I mean, for shipping. I just don't. That's we'll
Right.
figure something else out.
Well, you remember Anton won that drawing for the ARRL handbook stuff.
What is that? Coffee blonde ale?
Bean flicker.
Bean flicker.
Liquor.
See, I don't know about all that stuff. Like when I think of drinking beer, I think back to the days of Bob Uecker and Bubba
Schlitz.
Smith and talking about Miller Lite. It
When was
tastes
the last
great,
time you
let's
drank
go.
beer?
Who,
Me?
Yeah. Ape. When was the last time you drank beer?
Probably 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
No. I mean beer.
Listen, it says right on the can that fine Pilsner beer. And
It is made on Plank Road in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the
and
city
it's
that
got
means
6
beer.
gold medals. 6 gold
And the
medals.
city
One
that
silver.
smells like beer. It smells like beer. The farther you drive down that road, the more it's you can get drunk just driving down the road. It smells like beer so strong.
The
Right.
wort.
That's right. I've been there. I have been to the mountain. I have seen the process.
There's no
Back in the
mountains.
year of our Lord, 1979, with some buddies, we drove up there from Illinois, where the drinking age was
How old
21.
are you?
He's
I'm
old.
Ancient.
60. I'm 60, almost 60.
He claims to be 60. 60 is the age they have on his birth certificate. His parents had to hike out for like 3 years just to get him registered.
That was back when the legal driving age was like 12 or something.
Yes,
Yes.
it was. The drinking age in Wisconsin when I was in high school was 18. So we drove up to Wisconsin to get our booze, and we found that you could go to the Miller Brewery, the Pabst Brewery, and the Schlitz Brewery and take all their little brewery tours, which was kind of cool.
Get free
And then you
drinks.
could sit in their little bars, and they would give you free beer until you left. I mean, it wouldn't stop. And popcorn.
I wasn't going to share this, but I think I'm going to anyway. I was talking to James earlier, and he was asking me to help him with a thumbnail, video, and if I could make him look any younger.
Oh, Lord.
um,
Nice.
Oh, my God.
I think that I don't know how the chat feels about that, but I thought that
You do look younger and happier.
yeah, I mean, like if you
You look like you could work for MFJ.
Right, so I have a phone in one ear and an AirPod in the other ear. That would be
guys
like
know
a
that
prehistoric
MFJ guy, right?
AirPod.
You guys know the
Grecian
MFJ
formula
I'm talking about.
commercial. Yes. Yes.
Oh, my God.
Highlight that comment. The Grecian formula commercial.
There's no. Yes, that was before the X head. That is correct. That is absolutely correct. I was much younger and skinnier back then. Yeah.
we were having one of our coffee and ham radio status calls, and Jim had to actually take a real phone call during the middle of that, and he did.
Yeah, I remember that.
He left his camera on, so we took advantage of that situation.
That picture. Show them the help desk one that you got.
Okay, give me 1 second. That one is tell an anecdotal story while I find it.
Tell an
I'm pulling
anecdotal
it up.
story.
Oh, you got the one where it says about the security incident response or whatever.
I was talking about.
Oh, that was from yesterday. I was talking. What's the one you like the Amazon help desk picture or something you did too?
No, I'd have to find that one. The one from
So Ape is, there's some prior art here. This is out of an MFJ catalog, and this gentleman still works for MFJ.
Oh, wow.
And some folks in the art department drew a beard on him and shoved him in the catalog, and he's still in the catalog today.
I've
I
never had
talked
that
to
kind of
I
beard.
talked to the boys at MFJ today. They're really fantastic people down there.
They are. They're awesome.
I have never talked to them. I've got a lot of their gear, but now how do you share the pictures? Are you calling that slides off your computer?
Who,
I
me?
just share
Yeah.
the whole screen.
Oh, the screen. Okay. I was trying to find I don't know where it is.
Richard's asking if any of us are good at designing logos. No.
No.
There's
No.
a company called Fiverr, Fiverr.
Yep, Fiverr
that's
is
for
amazing
Don.
for that.
Don
Yes.
N5SKT, this is for you, buddy. Right there. That's
Yeah.
right.
That one was you were on the Nugget stream. You're like, Uncle Jim is an expert in the infosec space, and so that's where we came up with it. Thou shan't do
What
that.
was-
You were
what was-
shaming somebody for the macros in an Excel
Oh,
file.
that was Hollywood. I
Yeah.
said something to Hollywood because he published a Excel spreadsheet with macros, and I'm like, dang, son, no. 1994 called. They want that virus back. Negative.
They want that virus back. Yes,
Oh.
sir.
Jay wants to know if you gave him a unibrow. No, he had that.
some milk.
I
Oh,
agree
my
with you,
Lord.
Kevin. He sure does.
That's right.
He had that unibrow.
No, it wasn't quite shooting the breeze. I
Are you
haven't-
going to be
I-
sponsored?
No, I have a new radio, and I was wanted to find out about some manual tuners for QRP radio for portable operations. So I figured, what better thing to do than talk to the folks at MFJ?
So did you get a new tuner coming?
I believe I will be getting a new tuner. Yes, I don't know which one. We talked about a couple different ones.
Oh, so that's kind of a secret yet, or
No, it's not a secret. I honestly don't know, and I don't know. I don't know much about their tuners. I know that it starts with a 9, but all their tuners start with a model.
all their tuners start with a 9? Yeah,
right.
yeah, I believe that is correct.
But I want a small T network tuner. So I got a variable cap on either side with a tapped inductor in the middle that should make it relatively easy to tune up. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Now that's like the LDG Z102, because you can adjust the capacitance on that directly.
I've got the Z1817 that is full automatic tuner. I don't have a manual tuner right now.
Well, it does. This one is the one that's on my 706 out in the shop, and it will do full automatic, but you can also
fired.
mess with it.
Right.
Abe needs to get a Hemcourt for keeping the radio that he bought for me.
Yes.
Thump, are you bringing charges? I mean, just
I didn't do nothing.
we can.
I don't even know Thump.
That's. Oh wow!
Wow.
You did not have
so Ed is
sexual
saying-
relations with that woman, right?
Right.
Yeah, we know how that worked out too,
Not
don't we?
that one.
Mrs.
I don't know if I can
Lewinsky.
answer this. There's a couple different loops. Do you mean a mag loop, or do you mean like a loop?
Oh, you've got their QRP loop tuner. You already have it.
I do, but I wouldn't use that if I had. You couldn't use that for a mag loop, though, right? So you could use that for a.
I want y'all to look at that guy right there and tell me he's not up to some
Sus?
sketch. That's right.
He's wearing
I'm telling
he's
you.
wearing a Mickey's cap. Anyone who wears a Mickey's cap drinks Mickey's, and if you drink Mickey's, you're onto some sketchy stuff.
Listen,
I
I
mean,
drink Mickey's every
25
listen,
years ago.
You don't drink a brass monkey Saturday morning when you get out of bed. Little Mickey's and Tropicana.
Wow.
I mean, you just look at that picture and you go, "That guy."
You know
that
what?
guy-
I just figured Ape out. Ape is Frank on Old School. He is Frank the Tank on Old School. He is still in college. That's all it is. That's why he's drinking Miller Lite, fellas. I just figured this out. He's
No,
drinking Miller
no,
Lite.
no. If that was, he'd be drinking Natty Light or something like that.
I used to drink stuff like that and like Olympias and all that, but when I got a job, I was like, you know what, I can afford the good stuff now. And
Good
I started
beer.
drinking Miller. I started
Do you-
drinking Miller Lite.
Do you drink any High Lifes? I like a High Life
I'll drink a High Life out of a bottle, but
because that's fancy beer there, buddy.
it's a champagne. It's a champagne of beers.
It is truly.
ran-
That's right.
I ran a marathon, and at the end, that's what they had, and I literally said, "No thanks, I'll just go drink water instead."
Well, that's a pompous attitude, and you should have been found
It
guilty.
is. Right. See, I'm seeing a lot of
was
sass
guilty.
here that just, wow.
My brother's wife had a cooler with full of good beer for us.
Well, see, like I don't like beer that tastes like perfume, and a lot of those beers,
It's like
you know what I mean?
perfume.
They taste like perfume. When
I
people are
don't
like,
want
got
beer
this
with
triple
fruit
over
in
hop."
it.
Right. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
So
Say
this
it.
tastes-
Do you
this
think
kind of
Chuck
coffee
Heston?
tastes good.
Do you think Chuck Heston would drink beer out of a pink can?
No.
Would John Wayne do
No.
that?
No, John Wayne drank beer out of a steel can and then he crushed the can on his forehead.
Right.
That's what John Wayne did.
Right. Here I am.
And then he
drinking
banged your mom. I'm just saying.
I'm
Okay.
drinking out of a pink cup. I live in a
Sorry.
house full of girls.
Coffee and Ham Radio's Cafe Noir.
It's on my channel. It's
I
after
believe Thursday nights
dark.
is called Whiskey and Ham Radios.
Sorry, I got carried
Noir.
away. I feel bad. It says noir. That should be like a what in 45. What are you dropping that? I don't know what that means.
This is
That is the
Grown-
precursor to Miller Lite. Used to be Rheinskabot. It was the beer that became Miller Lite.
Okay.
grown folks radio.
Mhm.
Right.
Irish
Right.
Coffee and Ham Radios. Ed's on it. Yeah, I like Ed's thinking.
Yeah, I do too. That's actually the.
That's not a
look
bad
at-
plan
stop
either.
it.
Brian is correct.
Irish
Do not
coffee,
fruit
you
the
know.
beer. I
You
just
know, I have
I'm
the
like,
coffee
no.
part right
no.
here. I have the coffee part right here. You just need to add a little Irish in it.
Now I do like a couple of fancy beers. Dos Equis, the dark stuff, is awesome. That's very good beer. And that's the only dark beer I think I like. And yeah,
When
that's it.
I was in high school,
Moosehead
and
occasionally.
we worked at a restaurant, and we would always want to get beer, but we weren't old enough to get the beer. But we knew a fellow from Mexico that would
Right.
buy us beer if we paid to his cut, which meant we had to get him drunk too. And so we would give him money to get the beer, and then he would always get Modelo. Is that what it's
Modelo
called?
Negro. That's right.
Well, he would get the Modelo regular and
Okay.
like the yellow one. And I don't know what the word is for that, but that's what he would get. And we would beg him to get
Yes.
something different. But that's what we drank because that's what Tecate was the other one. He would get
Tecate. Mhm.
Yep.
Yep. I was home on leave when I was in the Air Force, and I was not of legal age yet in Illinois at that point. I was still under 21. And I was at my girlfriend's house, and we wanted some booze. So we called a taxi and said, would you go by the package store and pick us up a bottle of vodka? Thank you very much. And they did. It was like 1981 Uber or 82, whenever. Brought us a bottle of alcohol. He didn't check, no ID, and I paid with cash.
I used to deliver pizzas when I was in finishing high school and starting college. And people would ask all the time if I would bring them beer, and I'd tell them no. But I used to stop at the gas station across the street and get smokes for people all the time. people would call me, be like, can I talk to the driver real quick? And I'd get on. And I'd be like, what up, this ape? And then they would say, they would say, can you get me a pack of Newports? I need a pack of ports and a pack of cools. And I'd be like,
Newport.
so I
Newport.
should have started keeping smokes in the car.
Right.
But
I used to go get smokes from my mom and my aunt. She would send me and my
I got smokes
cousins
from
down
your
to the
mom, too.
store. Yeah, he probably did.
when we were kids, we would get the smokes, and I would go in, and the guy would be like, "You're not old enough to smoke." I'm like, "These are for my daddy. I'm getting my daddy smokes."
Right.
And
Thump, you shut up. Thump. Big dummy head.
Thump
Big
it.
the
stupid
ones with
dummy
the
head.
paper, they had the paper wings on them. Right?
Wait.
Bamboo. They were made out of bamboo and paper. Like
See, and I felt bad because I couldn't make a QSO with you the other night. Now I'm done. I'm over that now.
he
Thump.
told me, you all was trying.
No, I didn't. I
Carlos.
was out in the shop. I couldn't mess with it at the time.
Carlos, real quick, turn to 7200. There's a rare DX. Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Ah,
You broke up every single word there. I couldn't hear what you said.
That's all right. Everybody else got the joke.
we got the joke. It was good.
Okay.
It was
I-
good. Oh man. You guys remember when their cigarettes were in the machines like in Hardee's?
Yep.
And you could just like, and that's when I started smoking. Me and my girlfriend would go to Hardee's and buy a pack of cigarettes for 65 cents or something out of the machine.
I have all these stories
Ride
about
my
me being a
bicycle up to
derelict.
the store and get a carton of cigarettes from my dad. My bicycle for
Yeah.
you know. They're like, okay, yeah, sure.
My friends and I were going camping when we were in high school, and so we went up to the pizza place that had the cigarette machine, and we had like all these quarters, and we were loading up on cigarettes, and we would have them, and I was buying them. And some guy gets up and he walks over to me. I'm like 14 pounds. I'm probably 90 pounds soaking wet. I'm 14 years old, 90 pounds soaking wet. And this guy's like, "You was smoking ass." And then he left. And I was like, "Oh."
I got carded one time ever buying booze. I was actually going to turn 21 in like a day. And me and my girlfriend wanted wine that night, so I stopped at the liquor store on the way over to her house and went in to buy booze, to buy a bottle of wine. The next day is my birthday. I will be 21. I'm on leave from the Air Force. I have military ID. I'm in a non-military town. I figured this is not a problem. And they card me. It's the only time I was ever carded. I pull out my military ID. I've got the haircut and everything, and that sucker turns that card over and finds my birthday on the back of it. And he said, close enough. I was just like, crap. I'm going to die. The first sergeant's going to have me murdered. I don't know what's going to happen. Big deal.
You know, the best part about that green ID card is that nobody gave you any crap when you had it, at least for me.
I didn't expect him to, because the birthday on the ID card back in the day, and I don't know where it is now, because I've been out for 30 years, but the birthday is on the back.
When you
or
say
something.
out, not prison, you've been out of the military for 30
I've been out of the
years.
military for 30
Okay.
And out of
2 years.
prison for a while.
And out of prison for a while. Well, they just haven't, the marshals haven't found me yet. This is a whole persona here. This is not really me. This is
So
yeah.
we got new stuff in the mail, right, James? Can
Yes,
talk
we
about that at
do.
all?
Yes, bring your. Mine's out in the shop. I didn't get
It's
a chance
always
to get up.
it's always something with you.
Always. You know, you're not off probation yet.
Well, no, I mean mine's out in the lab. I'm just saying.
Jim
And
harassed me into getting this device.
Oh
you
yeah,
want to explain what it is?
that is a O1 handheld oscilloscope. I dropped a
Right.
video on it last night. Ape had to copy me. He'll probably be dropping a video later, but
I just downloaded your video and did my voiceover on it. And,
seems legit. So this is a handheld oscilloscope. That's the 100, isn't it? Same one I got.
yeah, it's the same one. It's the
Oh
100,
Lord, you guys are
thank
killing me. I'm gonna have to take away. I'm gonna have to take away some admin privileges. And that's a oscilloscope and a very full functioning multimeter.
It's a full frontal functioning multimeter.
Right, full
Full
frontal,
frontal. Well,
and a
Right.
and
I
a
like it
signal
already.
generator as well.
Right.
What is? I didn't really check the sig generator. Is it like a 20 megahertz one or 10, or do you remember?
Well, I was messing around with the different waveforms that it can create. It can do a ramp, it can do a square, it can do a
Right.
sine, and it can do a pulse and an arbitrary, which really basically looks like that signal you were getting when you were testing. You were getting some crazy signal at some point. I don't remember.
Yeah,
what it
I
was.
think
like,
that
it looked
was
like
a
bell ring.
cable.
They call it ringing. I think it was a ringing.
Yeah.
But I think the highest it can go to is sine wave at 25 megahertz.
Okay. Well, that's not terrible.
Well, the thing
At
is
all.
that you can use something like this, which is really cool, to generate a signal at lower frequencies, and then pipe it through like one of these nano VNA test boards, where you can just use components to build your filter, right? So like I think I did a video in here where I used a Pi
Yeah.
network filter on the Pixie. So you could just take this and you could put it in line with the output on the meter, feed, I don't know, whatever kind of signal. I think you can sweep with this too through here, and then you can test the voltage and stuff of that using the oscilloscope. Now it's not like a nano VNA, but it's definitely cool. I was like, dang, I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I was playing with it for a couple hours tonight.
Yeah, I thought it. Everything I played with last night when I shot the video, that's up on my channel, on this channel, it seemed like it worked really good. The only thing that I saw happening was that artifact that it was doing, and that seemed to be related to. Yeah.
But
You're in the
that could have been
military,
your
you know what
cable or
that one
something.
is. That
It
could
could
be
have
the
just been
cable.
your cable or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool. I mean, I don't remember. I haven't read the manual. I
wouldn't dare. I wouldn't.
right.
No.
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 I don't know what the time range is on that. I don't remember what it says the sweep base is, and I think it says it on the manual or something somewhere. Maybe Ape. I don't remember.
I did look at the specifications card on the back. So what
Yeah,
are you
what-
asking about?
What's the sweep range on the voltage range and the time base? Probably the time base more than anything.
Oh, shit,
So while he's trying to read without his man glasses, old man
Right.
glasses,
Splaining
what would you
glasses.
use something like this for in terms of like, does it have a good enough frequency range in order to be ham radio adjacent, or is it a toy?
I'm going to go with the toy.
It's
I'm
a
gonna go
cool
with the toy
toy, probably. It's 100 megahertz scope, so the entire bandwidth of the scope is lower than VHF,
I have a
and I can't
I have a
lie about that.
I have
So-
a 1990s boombox.
There you go. That's cool.
Nice.
Hold
Now,
that up,
Carlos,
let's see
what's the bandwidth on yours there? What is that? That's a tech. Do you remember what the bandwidth
Say
is?
60 megahertz at 1 gigahertz per second.
1 gigahertz
go.
sample, 1 giga sample.
Mm.
Yeah. So,
How he
and
hides
that's
the
a
price
pretty
tag.
looking beast. Yeah, $12.95. You got that at a Hamfest, didn't you?
No, I got this at the Restore, at the
That's right.
Habitat
That's
for
right.
Humanity Restore.
That's all.
But yeah, it's kind of a toy because really, VHF is 140 megahertz, and the standard generally is 3 to 5 times the signals you might be trying to measure. So you're not going to be able to get, and this thing does not have an FFT on it, so it won't do any frequency versus amplitude at all. It's only going to do voltage. And it's going to be so attenuated at VHF frequencies, you wouldn't be able to get anything out of it. But if you're playing with parts and trying to learn how stuff works, it's very useful. If you're trying to debug circuits that are not working, it's still useful. And it's a sexy digital multimeter.
Right. For a multimeter, it's expensive, right? Because they're $200, give or take.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you get a nice multimeter for $40, so that it's not worth it to say, hey, I'm buying this because I want a
Right.
multimeter. Now, it does have some signal generator capabilities, but
Which is useful.
it's useful. But again, you could buy a SigGen. Actually, I think that the Tiny SA can do
Yeah,
everything from
the
a
Tiny
SigGen
SA
perspective,
can.
or dang close. But it's
Yep.
nice to have it all in one tool. Like you were asking what you can do. Like if you're building equipment, like say a Pixie or something like that, you could feed a sound signal from this into the front end of that instead of using the keyer and stuff like that, and measure and do alignments and stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's useful, but it's not like you need to have this in order to be a ham. Like it's not that at
Right.
all. You know what I mean? This is more of a, hey, it's cool, and it does 3 things. I don't think it does any of them particularly well, but it does 3 things. So it's kind of like a Swiss Army knife. Right.
So I've got my Nano VNA, I've got my Tiny SA, and I've said this before. I'm still waiting for that micro scope to come out from the same product family.
They have some. It's not from the same manufacturer,
Right.
For Nearcy, I don't even know how to say it. Nearcy.
Yeah.
They make one, but the bandwidth is only 200 kilohertz, which is super duper low.
Yeah.
Now, if you were doing some like Arduino work or something like that, and you wanted to test circuits, it's fine. I guess it's fine for that, but I wouldn't say, hey, buy this to be a ham radio guy.
Well, the other thing too, and somebody asked me this in the Discord today. We were talking about that scope that Ape was just showing. And his question was, so if I don't have a scope and I want to buy one, is this a good starter scope? It kind of
You
is
would
and it
learn.
kind of ain't.
You could buy it and you could learn a bunch of stuff with it, which is awesome. It's kind of expensive for that though. Right?
Right. And that's my point. It's a cool starter scope because it ain't the fanciest piece of gear in the world and it ain't lab grade. But for $200, you could spend a little bit more and get a Siglent or a Regal or an O1 or a Handtech for not much more money than that. That's probably 200 megahertz and would be a little more useful in
For
a
me,
bigger form factor. I don't know. And the form factor is pretty dang cool. That's honestly a lot of it.
I can throw this in my backpack, and then that way I can have an oscilloscope to mess around with while I'm bored out of my mind. And that's why I got it.
Right.
Don says
here's
he can
Don.
spend less and get another radio, and that's a there you go, Don. Don's on it.
You know,
Yeah,
and
but it would be another Hermes lady. He's already got 4 of them.
right.
Right.
Don doesn't need another radio. How many radios do you
Listen.
need, Don?
Whoa,
Really?
whoa,
no
whoa,
one
don't
no one needs that many radios, Don.
Listen.
Just saying.
Don't let us bring charges up against you, sir, for saying things such blasphemy here.
Fair point. Fair point, Chupacabra.
So yeah. I don't know. I guess I have to agree with Ape. It's kind of a toy. Cool
But it's
toy.
cool. I mean, it's definitely cool and it's fun, and it's a learning experience and all that kind of stuff.
Well, for me, so I have a benchtop oscilloscope on one side of my shop, but where I do a lot of my filming stuff, I don't have a scope over there. And this way I can keep that over there and stick it in the corner on the bench, and it'll be out of the way, but I can.
This way,
I
I can
don't
have a nightstand scope and multimeter in the same device.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
Totally.
Can you imagine
So
what you could do in bed with that thing?
I'm not joking. So on my nightstand, there is a multimeter and a tiny SA. And
Baby, come here. Let me clip this on.
I'm not joking. So
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
And with
it's
that, we're
8
at
o'clock.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna live stream tomorrow night on my channel. So there should be a link around somewhere. We won't post it now, but
I was gonna say you have to make it first.
I did.
No, I think
posted it
he
yesterday.
made it. He made it. It's up there.
Kevin has the right idea there. There you go. Someone highlight
Tomorrow
Kevin's
night,
comment.
we will be on Ape's
Yes.
channel with some fabulous electronical magicalness. And Ape may or may not electrocute himself. That's always a possibility.
Boom.
Yeah, we got to talk about what we're gonna do tomorrow. I don't even remember, but
Right?
we're talking about these things, right?
Yes, the FSMs.
FSM.
What is the Yaesu equivalent of a 7610? I believe it is 2991As.
I would think you'd say the 101 is probably
The 101
that
is. Yeah. The D. The MP is more like a 7851 kind of thing, but
They should have called
Yeah.
that the 102.
right.
Right. Or the
All right.
201. Thanks,
Y'all,
everybody.
thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good evening.